Before we get started on our journey, shout out to the video sponsor, my boy Griffo, aka Mason. He's been working on a horror anthology, just posted his second book in the series. The first book was bouncing around a lot, kind of building this multiverse of madness that he's created, and it really taps into like ancient storytelling of horror, the classic tales, and flips them on their head. The second book he just put out, Trials and Tribulations, more so is following the stories from characters established. It's a terrific read. Both books have amazing reviews. I encourage you, if you're a fan of the channel, to go show him love and support. He's also in my Discord community if you want to come hang out and talk to him. But yeah, thank you for sponsoring the video. And without further ado, let's hop in. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Dr. Splash, the resident king of Yancey Street. Welcome to the Yancey Street. Make sure to subscribe and like this video. This is a comic book update. Okay, so we need to talk about the recent Superman comic, part of the story of All In DC Comics, which is like a new arc that is beginning to build up. So you will see some things in here that without prior context will be a little confusing. I'll explain some things as we move, but overall I'll be presenting this as the comic continues to roll. So this is an insane story. Doomsday's back. Shit's getting real. All right, make sure to lock in. But also check out the channel I'm going to pin in the comment section. Carolina knows, that's my homegirl. She's starting her channel in a month or two. Same content as me. Make sure to join up already and subscribe to her. She's going to be dropping dope content very similar to mine. Now, back on topic, right? This is the new Superman comic. It starts out with a conversation between Time Trapper and Superman. Now, if you didn't know, Time Trapper is super powerful, basically represents entropy in the DC universe. And the Time Trapper is based on his fundamental existence within DC. He's one of the most powerful beings inherently. And he's talking to Superman. And he says, no matter what happens, neither me or you will ever die. And you need to embrace that. You're going to outlive everybody. It's just going to be us. And we kind of cut away from this intense exchange and fire as we see Jimmy is in the office, right? If you don't know who Jimmy is, Jimmy Olsen, long-standing member of Superman lore, a regular guy that does investigative journalism, paperwork, etc. for DC at the Daily Planet. Well, he's looking for Lois, looking for Clark, can't really find them. Then we see this massive explosion go off. Lois runs to the closet because guess what? Right now, she's Superwoman. She has powers. Well, when she gets to the closet, Clark's there. And they both turn into Superman and Superwoman and absolutely race out of the office. As we can see, they've been using each other as excuses, and it's becoming a little problematic as their excuses aren't exactly lining up with who's present in the office, as clearly two supers are leaving at the same time. We see that they are responding to an explosion caused by a character called Atomic Skull. Atomic Skull is not a super important character in this story. He's just more so a villain, stand-in to give us a little bit of a scrap-a-doodle-doo before we get into the real big shit, right? So, Atomic Skull is absolutely going crazy right now, bag work, because he's got a bunch of atomic animals, basically a zoo, and he's weaponizing them. His drip's crazy. I will give him credit for that. Let me know if you like his drip. I think he's drippy as fuck. Makes Ghost Rider look lame as shit, like the Kmart version. We then see both are currently being monitored for their power. When I say both, I'm referring to both Superman and Superwoman. Now, the reason for this is pretty simple. One, Superman, of course, can go ballistic at any time. He's broken, almost has no limits. Whereas Superwoman is assumed to be of a similar degree of power. However, they're not entirely sure if she exactly operates like Superman. So they're being very cautious with how she can use her power because, frankly, she's only had it for a few weeks. That's kind of revealed if you're reading this in isolation. So she's new to the game, and they have to be very careful with her. And they have certain agents assigned to watch over her, including the daughter of Lex Luthor, Lena Luthor. Now, she was supposed to be monitoring the activity of Superwoman, but she was not present that day. And the reason for that is she's testing her father, Lex. Now, in this story, Lex Luthor used to be batshit crazy. He used to do hood rat stuff. He used to run down on Superman. He's even watching videos of him in the past being like, I'm gonna kill Superman, and going crazy. Well, he's not like that anymore. He's basically been neutralized, sterile. He's like, it looks like that was a miserable life to be so angry. I don't know why I was so angry. I don't remember any of this. So she's basically testing her father to see if he's still any semblance of what he used to be, but it appears he's not, or he's just a fantastic faker. Of course, that's when she gets the phone call that, hey, you need to report in and look at Superwoman. We then see at that point that Superman and Superwoman had captured the Atomic Zoo. It wasn't really a big issue. Like, they were able to pretty much off-panel Atomic Skull in his zoo. That's why I kind of said, like, hey, he's kind of a stand-in villain right now. He's not doing anything too crazy, just kind of gives us something to do and to expand on the power of Superwoman. Well, Superwoman's having fun catching him. She's having a blast. And Superman's kind of trying to bring that humility into it. Like, hey, you've only done this for a couple weeks. Make sure you're careful. Like, have respect for what you're capable of and don't overdo it. But of course, she's kind of being cocky right now. She's kind of being arrogant because if you think about it, she basically became God overnight. And that's a lot to accept as a person. So she's understandably dealing with that adjustment. That's when we see another menace has touched down. Now, Doomsday is back. He lands, he's on fire, and he looks amazing. He's returning mid-lecture, and Superman's like, oh my god, this is the worst time to be trying to train somebody. Like, with a returned Doomsday? Damn that. And they're speculating, like, hey, is this the Doomsday from hell? Like, did Doomsday adapt to hell? And we see Superwoman, aka Lois, thinking about Doomsday, right? And she's like, I've seen what happens when Superman fights Doomsday. She remembers the first time when she had to hold Clark as he was dying because of the fight with Doomsday. And she doesn't want that to happen again. Say what you want about this version of Lois, but she's about that life, right? She's like, nah, I'm not letting Doomsday do my man like that again, especially because I know when Doomsday comes back, he got stronger. So as this is going down, Superman has to act in the moment, right? Like, I hate on Superman sometimes, but dog, he was ready to lace them up too. And he says, look, this is the worst fight to train you in, but if I can't get you to run away, Lois, at least follow my lead. Like, watch what I do and try to help out the best you can, but make sure you don't do too much because this is Doomsday we're talking about. And at that point, that's when we see like a shift in reality, an instant moment of absolute change. Superman, and this is a crazy thing, instantly senses it. He's like, reality shifting, everything stopped, time's different. That's like instantly how he processes everything, which is insane reaction and awareness. Turns around, looks around, instantly scans reality, and he hears someone say, I'm not sure if I would say time stopped. Perhaps you could say it's trapped. By the way, 10 of 10 intro. Hard body, son. Comes through. It's the time trapper. Pulls up with maximum drip, right? And he's like, Superman, I know you got beef with me. And Superman does not have time for that, right? He's like, time trapper, I really don't want to do this shit. And that's when time trapper's like, look, I'm here to talk to you about some shit you probably aren't expecting, so I need you to lock in. And Superman is pissed because he's like, look, you could go anywhere in time. You could literally do what you want in DC's creation. Like, that's kind of your thing. Why are you here? And the time trapper's like, look, I've observed many Supermen, including some that decided not to be Supermen, which is so selfish of them. They refused to be heroes just so they could blend in with society. And he's like, you're not that way. You're the main Superman. You're the one that cooks the most, right? Like, you're the one that everything is based off of. And ultimately, this moment in history is as important and as special as any, because this is the point in time where Superman makes the decision that could either save or end everything. And to Superman's horror and surprise, the time trapper reveals himself to be Doomsday. Oh my god. Now, if you don't remember, Doomsday was once thrown into entropy, thrown to the end of time, into space. This is that Doomsday. He adapted to it to the point he became the time trapper. And he said, Superman, we've been enemies as long as our stories have run. However, in this moment, I need you because the future is doomed. Now, we do see the upcoming chaos of All In, and this is what I kind of mean by it's a new story. It can be a lot thrown at you, especially if you're just reading an isolated comic for its insanity. So they mention what's coming to the story for All In, right? Like, we have an explanation for how did Lois Lane get her superpowers. We're going to see the sinister secret of the time trapper. We will see a future of horror strike and good luck beating King in Hell Doomsday. It's going to be pretty crazy. I'm super pumped for this. This was an amazing issue. We actually just got blessed on Wednesday with incredible drops. So I'm super looking forward to it. I think you guys should as well. And this is going to be incredible to continue to follow. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I absolutely love this. I had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, anyways, it's been your boy Dr. Splash. And remember, it's Yancey Street, bitches.